Hello everybody, welcome to this Marvel Avengers Alliance video on YouTube on G4G. So, as you can see from the title of the video, it's a 2-for-1. It's Team Feeding the Bishop and Marvelous Electro. Obviously one of them stands out to you. You're like, Marvelous Electro, Captain Marvel, Electro, I got a high. But what does Feeding the Bishop mean? Well, this is something really interesting. First, let's look at the two players in this video. These are the two people who are going to be rotating in and out, and there is going to be one hero that is going to be staying the same for both teams. So here is Uncanny Bishop. For those of you who don't know, Bishop was the one who was sent back to the future, back to the present from the future, in the Days of Future Past timeline in the X-Men cartoon show. One of my favorite cartoons of all time was that cartoon, amongst many, many others, but I loved the 90s X-Men cartoon series. My two favorite arcs were the Dark Phoenix arc, with the Shi'ar and everything like that, and of course that gave rise to the famous "I'm a Juggernaut, bitch!" which was YouTube's reworking of Juggernaut's role in that. And the Days of Future Past arc. Now, what happened in that is that Forge and Wolverine sent Bishop back to the present from their future to try to stop everything that's going wrong. And again, it was Mystique, but it was Mystique posing as Gambit, and that's where all the problem was. So now Bishop in this game, he's a bruiser, and he is sort of what would be called a bruiser in a lot of other areas. He's not a full-on tank, although he does have things that he likes to tank. And that's what we're going to take advantage of. I have both of his EISOs, which I actually found a little surprising that I had both. But here we go. Ambient Energy gains potential energy when allies use energy attacks. This one is the one that is debatable as to whether or not you want to keep it. In this scenario that you're going to see play out in the video, you could go ahead and use the Elite ISO over here. This one though, all normal actions generate one additional potential energy. I think this one is pretty solid, and you should keep it if you have it. This one you may want to keep if you have lots of other energy attacks on the team. This is kind of like Havoc and, things like that. So, energy manipulation. This is the big key for him here. Takes reduced damage and gains an extra turn from kinetic, energy, psychic, and elemental. That's the key. Remember this word, elementary, my dear Watson, for you shall see who has planned this all out. The nefarious Napalm Dawn. Chance to protect against kinetic energy and elemental attacks. Gains potential energy when attacked by these attacks. And, he has two sides of himself. He has his mutant side, and he has his, desperado side. And, by the way, Bishop did make an appearance in the Days of Future Past movie. He was in the future time with all of the mutants who were still alive. As a matter of fact, I think at several points in the movie, I think he has Storm electrify him so that he can gain energy and power up his guns. He had somebody do something to him. The other player in this is going to be Captain Marvel. The big key here is this ISO, Realized Empowered ISO 8. Hidden Potential also triggers on elemental, kinetic, and psychic attacks. This is her chapter suit. It comes in Tactician, and it comes in Scrapper. The big key here is Full Potential and Hidden Potential. Now, the other suits, like this one, has Hidden Potential and Seventh Sense, and then her stock suit has Hidden Potential. Now, you could playing around with using other suits over here, but I highly recommend this suit for the plan that you're about ready to see. However, you could also go Bruiser with her. We are in a bruiser heavy meta right now. I happen to really like her in her tactical form. So, what do we all have in common? Well, you can see sort of the route that I'm going here. We seem to be dealing with people who like to deal with elemental attacks and whatnot. And you're like, okay, well, how often is... Oh, by the way, today's background music is the Bloodborne OST. You might be thinking, okay, well, alright, how often is somebody going to be using these forms of attack? You know, there's a lot of melee now, and there's a lot of ranged, and blah blah blah. Well, look at our buddy Electro over here. Electro is the glue that both of these teams share in common. Now, Electro has a wonderful multifunction on his level 2, and look at this, he goes first. Awesome. Everybody's very familiar with Supercharge. Supercharge is great. He takes 2 actions in the next round. He restores stamina every round. This is really good. He makes everybody attack electrically. But we're going to look at this one called Surge. Now, Surge is the one that everybody kind of chewed their nails over. It does that wonderful disadvantage, which is almost like a generalized, but it gives the enemies electrical type. They become electrical Pokemon. Everybody's a Pikachu on the enemy side when you hit them with this. Now you guys are seeing where I'm going here. If I am making everybody elementally charged by giving them electricity, electrical, fire, and ice in this game are considered elemental. Everybody on the enemy side now has an unremovable 2-round permanent attack with the electrical type. Everybody is forced into being Pikachu. Watch what's going to happen. See that? Bishop stood in front of this attack because that hit was considered elemental. There it is. Kinetic, energy, psychic, and elemental attacks. Bishop is now becoming a tank because everybody is elemental. So we're going to go ahead and build up his potential energy. This would immediately stack him up to full. This would actually give him 3 stacks, but he caps out at 3. So he already has 1. This would take him up to 4, but he caps out at 3. So we're going to do this, which tech upgrades everybody, and it puts weak point on the enemy team. So now if we take a look, he's at 2. That's actually shit. He should be at a full 3 right now. But we're going to go, alright, we'll just do that. And again, he's tanking because that shoot is just supposed to be ranged, but it's now ranged electrical. And you can see he keeps joining in. Now that second hit, if that was PvP and you ran him with the Elite ISO, he would have healed. On my agent, I'm running the Rectifier, the Dense Electrotech Hammer, and the Thunderstrike. The reason why I'm doing this is because the Thunderstrike also likes when everybody is electrical. It counters them. See, reduced damage from electricity attacks, chance to counterattack. So, this was the hammer that they gave you in the Electro lockboxes because it goes so well with one of his own moves. However, it's the one that was causing people's games to lock up and was considered a exploit bug. So on my Electro turn over here, I'm just going to rest because I want you guys to see what Bishop is capable of with this. The Rectifier causes static charge to do an extra hit, almost like Thunder Rolls. So right now, as you can see, capped out. At this point, he can either heal himself, he can AoE everybody, or he can single target somebody, or he can increase his stats up to 3 times based on 1 stack per energy. That makes him a wonderful candidate for Jade or Emerald Prisming him. You drop it on him, Every time he tanks, his defense goes up. And now he jacks up his stats along with what the Prism would do. Look at his bonuses right there. He's not enraged. This is all realized potential, totally fucking with his stats. Look at him compared to my agent in Electro. He's got 1.5k to just about every stat other than evasion. So now at this point, he can heal himself. And he's back up to full health. If he was running the Elite ISO, melee attacks would be healing him too. I mean, look, this is a blaster going in on him. And he's basically shrugging it off. He's taking very limited damage from all of this stuff because he's considering it elemental. Makes him a wonderful candidate for the Prism, especially if you have the free action Prism. This way your agent can get a swerve on and not lose turns buffing him. So now you see what Bishop can do with all this. And look, Bishop has 3 and 3. I mean, this guy's fully jacked up at this point. Not to speak ill of the dead, but he's full-on Chris Benoit mode at this point. Ha ha! Yes. I went there. Steroid humor. It's funny. And you see that energy feedback that just happened? That's because she's been affected by the rectifier. Static charge. The rectifier thinks static charge is the enemy doing an energy attack. So it works out really, really well. So now that's how Bishop goes with Electro. So that's feeding the Bishop. Now let's take a look at Marvelous Electro. Let's bring in Captain Marvel, and you get to see what she can do in the exact same set of circumstances. They're both fun. They're both great team-ups. I would say the Marvel one, Captain Marvel, is a little bit more good for offense. The Bishop one is good for offense and defense a little bit. Bishop's still kind of complicated for the AI to use. Because maybe he, blows his stacks on a heal when he doesn't need it. They're both better in the hands of offense, but I can see Electro and Bishop being a somewhat reasonable defensive team. Okay, so Captain Marvel's benefits is that she gives the team rally by using her level 1. And it has deadly crits, so I'm just going to do this. She's healing off of the rectifier. That's another good spot of where Captain Marvel is maybe... I can't say whether I like Marvel or Bishop better than the other one. But Marvel has some additional uses that Bishop doesn't. She's a little more selfless in the things that she could do. So now everybody is Pikachu on the other side. See that energy feedback? That's a double hit off of static charge. So all of you Victor Burb guys out there, if you have a rectifier, you may want to consider it. Now look, my agent is a blaster. There's no snappy service here. This has become a quick action. That's because of Captain Marvel. That's where she's a little selfless compared to Bishop. So we're just going to wait our turn, watch what happens with Captain Marvel. She's going to throw knives that are now technically electrical knives, so the Thunder Strike counters. And watch Captain Marvel. Hopefully. Or not. We might not see it. There it is. Hidden potential, full stamina. And she gained a turn because it's a blaster. So now she can do absorb energy. And that gives her toe-to-toe. Toe-to-toe says the next melee attack deals extra damage. That's this right here. Kree Strike. By using Kree Strike, everybody has perfect shot, including herself. So she gave herself increased melee damage, and now she's given herself and everybody on the team increased range damage. Now, she also gave the team toe-to-toe, by the way, and she could be like Angel if you wanted her to, and have, or Falcon, and she can give everybody lead the charge. Watch this hit. See how big that hit is? That's because Captain Marvel is a fucking god under the right circumstances. You just need to set her up properly. And she makes the team unexploitable in this outfit. If she gets attacked, she may heal from it. Well, that one walked right around her. She doesn't intercept things the way Bishop does, but if things are directed to her, she has a field day with them. And whenever she gets the extra turns, if she gives everybody else lead the charge, you don't feel bad about sacrificing her next turn because she's already done so much work. You're like, look, it's okay if you take a vacation the next round. You just did a ton the previous round, so it's okay if you sit out. Let's go through one more time for comparison to the Bishop teams, because you didn't get to see her do her stuff that much. Ooh, Bishop going early. That's nice. Or not Bishop, Electro. Honestly, the Lightning Rod after the Rectifier is good, but it's okay. Rectifier? I don't even know her. But Thunderstrike still kicks in, which is cool. So now all of a sudden, this debuff that Electro does, that also sort of has a positive benefit for the enemy team, now makes it really, really negative for them to be doing this electrical damage. I mean, look at the Thunderstrike go. It has countered everything that has hit my agent over here. And there goes Hidden Potential. So the first thing we're going to do is get Rally. And there goes Hidden Potential again. That's why I wanted to do this one more time. You really needed to get a good feel for what Captain Marvel could do for this. You'll see Energy Rebound. There it is, Energy Feedback. So essentially it is like double static charge. And it's just wiped everybody out. Now this becomes a quick action for herself. She's bumped up her melee, which will be this. And we want to try to see if she can actually absorb the damage of one of these. Let's see what happens. No, she didn't absorb on that one. She does sometimes heal from the attack. She almost all the time gains stamina, but she will sometimes heal. And I've already used a quick action, but that would have been a quick action. Energy Feedback, simple static charge, and Energy Feedback just wiped out Sin over there. Or shall we call her Future Scotty? Little note, that's what's going on in the Bishop and Cable Heroic. So there you go, guys. There's team feeding the Bishop, not flogging the Bishop, you dirty-minded people. And Marvelous Electro. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is a really fun team that I've been thinking of all day, and it was really nice to actually see it work out the way that I intended, because it is definitely out of the box thinking to think of what you can do with that one move of Electro and how it gives him several team-ups that don't immediately jump out at you. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think of the team down in the comments below. Peace out.